Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Ramakrishna. Letters of Swami Vivekananda. Arise, awake, onward. I only tell you this, that whoever reads this letter will imbibe my spirit. Have faith, onward, Swami Vivekananda. Letter number 94, written to the Maharaja of Kirti, is continued. The more, therefore, the Hindus study the past, the more glorious will be the future. And whoever tries to bring the past to the door of everyone is a great benefactor to his nation. The degeneration of India came not because the laws and customs of the ancients were bad, but because they were not allowed to be carried to their legitimate conclusions. Every critical student knows that the social laws of India have always been subject to great periodic changes. At their inception, these laws were the embodiment of a gigantic plan which was to unfold itself slowly through time. The great seers of ancient India saw so far ahead of the time that the world has to wait centuries yet to appreciate the wisdom. And it is this very inability on the part of their own descendants to appreciate the full scope of this wonderful plan that is the one and only cause of the degeneration of India. Ancient India had for centuries been the battlefield for the ambitious projects of two of her foremost classes, the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas. On the one hand, the priesthood stood between the lawless social tyranny of the princes over the masses, whom the Kshatriyas declared to be the legal food. On the other hand, the Kshatriya power was the one potent force which struggled with any success against the spiritual tyranny of the priesthood and the ever-increasing chain of ceremonials which they were forging to bind down the people with. The tug of war began in the earliest periods of the history of our race, and throughout the Shrutis it can be distinctly traced. A momentary lull came when Sri Krishna, leading the faction of Kshatriya power and of Jnana, showed the way to reconciliation. The result was the teachings of the Gita, the essence of philosophy, of liberality, of religion. Yet the causes were there, and the effect must follow. The ambition of these two classes to be the masters of the poor and ignorant was there, and the strife once more became fierce. The meager literature that has come down to us from that period brings to us but faint echoes of that mighty past strife. But at last it broke out as a victory for the Kshatriyas, a victory for Jnana, for liberty, and ceremonial had to go down, much of it forever. This upheaval was what is known as the Buddhistic Reformation. On the religious side, it represented freedom from ceremonials. On the political side, overthrow of the priesthood by the Kshatriyas. It is a significant fact that the two greatest men ancient India produced were both Kshatriyas, Krishna and Buddha. And still more significant is the fact that both of these godmen threw open the door of knowledge to everyone, irrespective of birth or sex. In spite of its wonderful moral strength, Buddhism was extremely iconoclastic, and much of its force being spent in merely negative attempts. It had to die out in the land of its birth, and what remained of it became full of superstitions and ceremonials 100 times cruder than those it was intended to suppress. Although it partially succeeded in putting down the animal sacrifices of the Vedas, it filled the land with temples, images, symbols, and bones of saints. Above all, in the medley of Aryans, Mongols, and Aborigines which it created, it unconsciously led the way to some of the hideous Vamacharas. This was especially the reason why this travesty of the teaching of the great master had to be driven out of India by Sri Shankara and his band of sannyasins. Thus, even the current of life set in motion by the greatest soul that ever o'er a human form the Bhagavan Buddha himself became a miasmatic pool, and India had to wait for centuries until Shankara arose, followed in quick succession by Ramanuja and Madhva. By this time, an entirely new chapter had opened in the history of India. The ancient Kshatriyas and the Brahmanas had disappeared. The land between the Himalayas and the Vindhyas, the home of the Aryas, the land which gave birth to Krishna and Buddha, the cradle of great Rajarshis and Brahmarshis became silent. And from the very further end of the Indian peninsula, from races alien in speech and form, from families claiming descent from the ancient Brahmanas, came the reaction against the corrupted Buddhism, to be continued. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.